Alrighty, guys. Welcome to our second episode of Explicate podcast.
Welcome, welcome.
Oh my gosh, it's our second
I
one.
know.
You
I'm
excited?
super excited. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So, we're going to do a little catch up of our week and then we'll go into our topic. But how was your week?
It was pretty good. Yeah, so the weekend was pretty busy. Uh we had a couple parties to go to and el 16
Gathering,
gathering, family
not
gatherings.
parties.
But el 16 de septiembre, el Día de la Independencia, it was fun going to that festival. Which was the first time that they do it, correct?
Yeah, they've never done something like that.
Yeah, so it was amazing. The food was really good. The girl singing was really good as well. She was Selena Quintanilla. What do you call it?
Imitator.
Imitator. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was fun. I had a lot of fun, and I think the fireworks actually lasted more than the 4th of July fireworks. So that was amazing. It was a great show. I know it took a lot, for them to put that together. So I think that was the highlight of my week, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really nice. I like that. I was very in shock that they did something like that because um I mean technically I was kind of born and raised in that town, so we never saw that. And it was always kind of frowned upon the celebration of El Día de la Independencia. So I really liked it and I really wanted to go.
Yeah,
Even
which I was a bit hesitant about going just because in Chicago like things get really bad, and I thought it would be the same. But it was actually very family friendly, and it just seemed like everyone was having a good time. Even though people were drinking and thing and stuff like that, it was still pretty fun, and there was a lot of security as well, so it felt pretty safe.
yeah, I mean there was a whole bunch of police and stuff. Um what else? That was the mainly the highlight.
Yeah, and then Sunday we just went over to my brother's house and spent some time there. Had some good food and family
Yeah, some
time.
guacamayas.
Some guacamayas, yeah. So I love guacamayas. And if you don't know what that is, it's not a bird.
Yeah, it's
not
not
the
a bird.
Es una torta con duro de chicharrón de puerco y una salsa de tomate.
But it's kind of like pico de gallo, but with a salsa.
Yeah, so
It's basically that.
right. It's really good. So if you don't know what it is, Google it and try to find a recipe and try to make them. They're amazing. And then Monday, I want to talk about Monday. How would that go?
So on Monday, we invited some family over. I think it was what, 20 people
Yeah,
in total?
no, not 20 people. Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it was like 20 people. We had a guest over to the house and I cooked for everybody. um, I don't think I was that nervous, to be honest. I felt like I chose to do caldo de albóndigas because I'm very familiar with doing it. And I've done it like not a lot, but pretty often, especially in
And
the
it's really
winter
good.
time and fall. So I'm like, you know what? It's already kind of like chilly season, más o menos. So I'm like, let me go ahead and do that. Um, and then I had to borrow a vaporera from my sister because I didn't have a big old pot to make such huge amount of caldo. So I had to go get that, and it wasn't that stressful. Um, I didn't really like think about it too much because me tomé el tiempo to cook, and I feel like if I have my time to cook, it's more relaxing for me. Like I don't mind cooking. I love cooking. But if I'm rushing, it stresses me out. I do not like that. So I felt like I took like between prepping the meatballs and everything, me tomé mi tiempo. Like I was gonna work beforehand before doing that, but I knew myself and I knew that if I started like working, I was just gonna be like las albóndigas. Like what time should I stop? What time is it? So I know myself, so that's why I was like, you know what? No, I'm just gonna take my time, and it wasn't too bad. And then I also did. I went all out. I think I did the pumpkin bread. and then I did apple pie. So, like I said, me tomé mi tiempo. And I already had those things. We went to a pumpkin patch and we had like 4 apples, and I knew that we were not going to eat them. So I was like, this is a perfect time to do it. Um, so the thing that helped was that me di mi tiempo. So it was satisfying
How
doing
long
it.
did it actually take you? Because I was upstairs just working the whole time, so I didn't even notice
Um,
how long it took you.
I mean, it's because I started baking the stuff like around maybe when I got back from going to grocery shopping. So, and I didn't take that long. I think probably like 2:30 or 2 I was already starting to bake the stuff cuz each thing took like an hour and 10 minutes. So, and they both were different temperatures, so it's not like I could have started with one thing and then or put both. I couldn't do that because one was I think cooking like at 325, another one's at 375, so it's a huge difference. I couldn't put both of them. So empecé temprano, pero with the meatballs o el caldo empecé como a las 3, 3:30, but I took my time. I like seasoned the meat and everything, so it was pretty satisfying. Um, but I think the most reward feeling was it rewarding feeling was when everybody was like, ah, it's good, it's
To
good.
be honest, I think this was the best one that you have made so far,
Really?
and it's usually really good. You know, your caldo is definitely like top three of the food that you make that I love. Number one, definitely chile rellenos.
For real.
That's my favorite. But caldo, I would say number two actually, because I can't think of another one. So this one was really really good.
Mm,
So that might be a tie with the chile rellenos.
damn. Yeah.
They were it was really good. And then on Tuesday I took it to work because Tuesdays I go into the office. So I sat next to my manager and she's like, Miguel, I want to eat your food. And then the other director was like, yeah, I think you need to marry her his wife if you want to eat his food.
I know they're always telling you that, right, about the food.
Yeah, yeah. Every time I heat up my food, they're like, "Yeah, your food always smells really good."
Yeah. I really love cooking. I like it. And I feel like the way that I see it is I want to learn those recipes because, like, ahorita we have our parents, right? We have our moms. Our moms are the ones cooking. So once they're not here, who's going to have those recipes? Who's going to have that sazon? And it's like, I want my kids to be like how we are with our moms. That we're like, oh my god, mom makes the best pozole. My mom makes like the best mole. Like, you know, so it's like I want to keep that going and learn those recipes. So, but my thing is learning. I mean,
You know what I want you to learn.
I know what you want. Yeah, he wants the tortillas harina, which little by little, I just need to get the recipe down where the tortillas don't turn hard. The flavor is there.
The flavor's there.
Yes, but
You've
they
made
just
them
turn
a
into
few
freaking
times, and they're
tostadas. Literally. And they're all in shapes, but I mean, that I don't care about because de todos modos se comen. Um, but I want to learn my mom's recipe for el pozole verde.
yeah,
That
pozole would be really good
which I
as
have
well.
the recipe in my phone. One time I went to go uh see her how she did it, but the recipe is literally like un puño de esto, un puño de eso, so it's kind of like fudge. Like I need a
Do you
recipe
just have
at
it in your
first.
notes as un puño de eso, un
I
puño de
kid you
otro?
not, yes, it has like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but for me, in order to learn the recipe, tengo que aprender al principio así by like measurements, and then ya nomás es el tanteo. Because when you help me, you're like, how much do I put of this? I'll be like, oh, just put a little bit. You're like, what is a little bit? You know, now like certain recipes que ya las hago de tanto tiempo, ya me acuerdo without having to have those measurements there. But in the beginning, when I'm learning a recipe, I need it. I need
Wh-
them.
which I think the when it comes to like the salt and everything, that's one of the things that a lot of people worry about. But with that, I feel with me it's not a problem because I love salt. So I'd never really notice if it has too much salt.
I notice it. I have PTSD from this, guys, and I'm gonna expose myself because I mean, the people that came to that brunch know about the freaking scrambled eggs. But we did a brunch almost literally a year ago, and I was in a rush. I was frustrated, and I was in a rush, and me pasé de sal, and I didn't taste it. I didn't think of tasting the freaking scrambled eggs. Now I would throw them away. So everybody was eating, and when it came to me eating the freaking scrambled eggs, salty as heck. And this was another 20 people that were in our house. That was all my brothers, all my sisters, my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, your brothers. And the brunch, the food was pretty good. It was like teníamos get pancakes, bacon, and everything. And then we had the freaking scrambled eggs. And I remember that I tasted them, and he was sitting next to me, and I was like, babe, they're hella salty. And he was like, oh, it's fine. They're going to be fine. You just chill, just chill. Because I feel like I was too stressed out since then that you sense my vibe. And I'm like that when I cook and I'm hosting. Me estreso because I'm like, I want things to be perfect. Not that they're always going to be, but I am like that. And they were super salty. And even my sisters later on, we were joking around because one of them was like, all right, so who did the scrambled eggs? And then I was like, it was me.
And that, I don't even remember, to be honest. I just remember that time I got really messed up. That's all I remember, but I don't remember
No,
the
I
eggs
mean,
at
I remember
all.
that it was so much fun. I think that was the last time that all of my siblings and everybody got lit together. That was the last time because shortly after, then my sister got pregnant and then my sister-in-law got pregnant. So it's, yeah. So
It
that was
was
the
so
last
early,
time.
then we were
It
already
was
like,
like 2 p.m. and we were like lit. But then it was so much fun because then everybody left early. Everybody got to chill, go home. And it was on a Sunday. But it was like still a vibe, like, and then we had pizza afterwards.
oh, remember that I ordered that? I just remember about the pizza, actually, now that you bring it up. With the pizza, I was so drunk that you told me to order some, and then like 30 minutes later, you asked me about it again, and I had not ordered because I was struggling in the app.
And he
That,
just gave up.
and then I
And
gave up.
instead of him being like, hey, I can't figure it out, he just gave up. And I have my oldest brother, he gets hangry. So he was the one that was telling me, like, hey, like, what time, what are we going to eat? Or, let's order some pizza. And I was like, yeah, let's order it. So then I told him, and then 30 minutes had passed, and he was like, oh, I hadn't ordered it. I was like, oh my God, like, we cannot, like, my dude is going to, like, freak out right now. And he has, like, four boys, so they eat the same amount as him. So I'm like, we gotta get this food going. So
And then the pizzas came, and they were all cheese pizzas.
no, they were not.
Yeah, it was all, well, not all of
No, they
them,
were
but there
not.
was one that was not a cheese pizza. It was one supreme, and it was like three cheese
But
pizzas.
remember that later on we checked the receipt
I
and
know.
yeah,
When I put in the order, I messed up, I think.
no, I was the one ordering them. I ordered them on my phone. You just gave up. You did not order them. I had to order them. And then the guy called me and they were trying to confirm the order. And I was so like lit already that I was just like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I was just like, okay.
I have no recollection of
And
that day,
then
to
one
be
of
honest.
them was like a small pizza that I ordered because that app is very stupid. It's so dumb. It's like you have to select the size and then you have to select toppings. And when you select the toppings, you basically have to select what you don't want. It's so dumb. But yeah, we're getting too out of track. But um yeah, so I have PTSD from cooking because the salt. So now I am very self conscious of it, but that's how we learn. And now I don't really care, but at that moment I wanted to die.
Yeah.
I was like,
But
"Trágame tierra."
now, I mean, yeah, Monday's food was amazing.
Yeah.
Everyone was saying how amazing it was. And it was. I mean, they were not lying. Not,
Yeah.
it was not just because we hosted, but it was actually very good. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to get your, how you felt that day, because we didn't talk about it actually.
No, we didn't get a chance because then I mean they didn't leave late, but I mean we just like they left and then we just like did. Um, but yeah, I really liked it. I think that's one of my love languages that I have. It's like cooking, like And I feel like with him, I'll be like, "What do you want to eat? What do you crave?" Or if I know he likes a specific dish, me aprendo la receta like from his mom or something, and then I try to create it. So then he still has that where I can make it for him. Um,
Which, I mean, I don't really crave anything. It's rare the time that I'm
your
really
appetite
craving.
is
Yeah,
horrible.
my appetite is horrible.
It's literally horrible. I'm like, dude, like I need to plan this. Like it'll be like he eats at what 12:30, and then by like 3 p.m. I can be asking him, what do you want to eat? He's like, I don't know. I'm not hungry. I'm like, well, ¿qué se antoja? He's like, I don't know. I'm not hungry. I just ate. I was like, you have to think of something that you're not necessarily hungry right now, but then you'll crave later. But my
Yeah,
dude here,
that
no.
was it's tough. I think once you make it, it's like I'll eat it. It doesn't really matter because I don't crave it. I just
Yeah. I think now it has just gotten to a point where whatever I'm going to cook is what it is, to be honest. Other than that, I mean, that was pretty much it. Yesterday, we didn't really do much. But I think that was mainly
I
our
was editing
week.
the
I mean, we did the
podcast.
same thing.
Yeah.
We same things we went to. Um, I worked Saturday morning though, and you were here, so that was kind of like my highlight was working. I got to do one of my cousin's hair. Um, and even though it took me longer than expected, it was a very satisfying foil. I like those when it's like you're not in a rush. You just take your time. You're working. You're very detailed. It was amazing.
And I think that's one of the things that you enjoy the most now about being an independent hairstylist, that you're not in a rush to finish
Yes.
them. You
Yes.
actually take your time
Oh
with
my
them and
God. Yes. The
you know,
detail.
right.
Yeah. And before I couldn't do that because it was very back to back. I would have like at times, I think the max I had at times was 4 clients at a time, which I don't know how I would do that now. But yeah, I would have 4 clients at a time. One would be basically processing, one would be toning, maybe one's getting a haircut at a different department because I was just a colorist. And then I had one in my chair that I was foiling. So it was just like all over the place. Um, but now I actually take the time to build a relationship and then be more detailed with my work.
And also take those pictures that you were not able to
Yes.
do before.
Yes. And take those pictures the way that I like them with the lighting that I like. And it's just
It's
amazing.
amazing. Yes.
Lau Nitz, ¿qué dijo?
Repeat.
Now let's get into the topic. Sometimes I feel like I want to like, get my sentence out, not just
That's me all the time.
I know.
My brain is always thinking ahead.
Yeah,
Like,
I
this is
cannot
what I'm gonna say,
imagine
and then
like
I
what
just
your brain like goes through because sometimes I'm like, dude, slow down. Like, there's no rush. But okay, let's get into our topic. So the topic is, why haven't we had kids? Dun dun dun. I feel like this year has been the year that we get asked the most about, why haven't you had kids? Especially for me. I feel the pressure more on me, to be honest. Um, where people ask me like, how old are you? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm 25. They're like, oh, you got to start having kids right away. You need to start having kids. You need to start building your family. And it's like, mind your own business.
yeah.
Like,
I don't feel like we're that old yet. I
no.
feel young. I still feel like we have a lot of time left.
Yes, I feel like I am 18, honestly. Like, I don't feel like I'm 25. I don't feel like I am my age. I feel like I'm at a point where I'm enjoying so much. We are enjoying so much that there's no need to take that step now. There's no rush. I could say not need, but there's no rush for us to be in that chapter. Now I do have my notes here. We both have our notes, and we're gonna go over kind of like what we think. Um, but mainly like the way that I see it is that we understand the responsibility that it is to have a kid, give birth to a kid. I cannot imagine my body going through that amount of pain now. I feel like I need to mentally prepare myself, and I know that a lot of moms are like, you can never mentally prepare for it. You can't. But I feel that if I am okay with my body going through that, I am gonna accept everything that's gonna come with it. Yorita, I'm not at that point where I'm like, all right, there's gonna be literally what's gonna feel like a watermelon coming out of me. I don't want to feel that right now.
Yeah, and it's just you definitely do have the toughest part about having to deliver the baby, and the baby will be inside you for 9 months, so you do have pretty much all the painful that part of it. But so whenever you feel ready, I respect that. Uh, right now, just because we're not, we're in the same situation that we both don't feel ready, and not because a lot of people, when we tell them about like, oh, we're not ready yet, they do tell us, you will never be ready. And I know that's true. We'll never be ready. And a lot of times they think it's just, financially ready, or just any other stuff ready. But there's a lot of things that we're still working on currently that, they don't we're not ready. Literally, we're not ready, because we have a lot of other things that we're looking forward to before we start having kids. And like I said, I mean, right now we're both in the same situation, and it's weird because sometimes we change our minds, that we feel like we get a little bit of baby fever, and we're like, yeah, maybe we'll try it
It's mainly
next year.
you.
Yeah, it's mainly me. But then the next morning, I'm like, nah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I feel like even though we are saying this, that we don't want kids right now, or we don't plan to have kids right now, doesn't mean that if God gives us a baby, we're not going to be like, oh my God, we don't want this baby. No, we're still going to be blessed. We still know that that's going to be our destiny to have that kid. Like, yeah, it's not like, it's our little blessing, but we don't plan on that right now. But if God wants it to be, then it's going to be,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I think that has been the thing ever since we got married. That, again, we're not planning to have a kid, but we always said, if a kid comes, we're gonna accept the kid when it comes. It doesn't matter if it's now or later, whenever, but we're always gonna welcome a little baby.
Yeah. And I feel like that's even weird to think. Um, I feel like there's no better timing than God's timing. So we're both on that same page with that. But yeah, so I feel like we're definitely like, we know the responsibility of it, and we know that it's going to change our lives forever. So, and I feel like I'm not at that moment yet. And I feel like we're not going to get a moment where it's just going to be us anymore once you take that decision. Like, I know that, yeah, after that, I know I'm going to focus myself more into this little human, that I'm not going to have maybe the same focus that I am with him. It's going to be a whole different thing. Um, and it's just enjoying us. I feel like it's enjoying us. And we, it's nothing that it's easy. It's so hard. And I seen it from being the youngest in my family, and seeing my siblings have kids, and how it changes their relationship, um and how it's just so different. Like, ya no es lo mismo. And it's a cute blessing, guys. It's a cute blessing, but it's just not a blessing that we want yet.
Not yet.
Not
Yes.
yet.
Yeah, because I mean, currently, working. One of the things that I'm working on is, getting my CPA, and I always said that I wanted to get my CPA right before having a baby, or, actually start planning to have a baby, just because I know how hard it is to study for it and actually get through it as is. So I cannot imagine how it is if you have a baby and you have that responsibility. Because right now, I mean, I'm waking up pretty early to try to like study and get it done. But if a baby comes, and that might put it on hold, because not now I need to, like, instead of having that time to study, I would have to help you out and take care of the baby while you're getting ready for whatever you have to get ready for. And it's just a lot of additional responsibility that, like I said, I would want to focus on getting my CPA, just because that, right now I'm still building my career, as I talked about during the last podcast a bit, but I'm still working towards, you know, going higher and not getting stuck somewhere, or where I'm at. It's always trying to grow, and I know that CPA will be one of the tools that, or one of the things that I'll need to get to where I want to be. And also that, I mean, once in that career aspect, like, once I am all set and everything, that I'm towards, or in a good track to accomplish what I want to accomplish, then the baby will benefit from it as well.
Yeah, because you're gonna have more time and energy to focus on a kid than when you're doing your career. um I feel like, from my point of view, um I feel like with my career, it's really hard because I barely just turned 6 months taking the step of becoming independent. And it's a lot. I basically am starting from zero from the other salon. I have to build my clientele, and I can't see myself having a kid right now when I'm just starting this chapter of building my business. That's basically what it is. And I want to focus so much on it. And I feel like there's still so much unknown with it that I have so many things that it's like, I want to raise my kids. I don't want, necessarily to give them away to be taken care of. I would prefer not to. But then it's like, then do I give up my career? And by giving up my career, it's giving up a part of me. It's like things like that right now at the moment we don't have an answer for. And it's like, we kind of figure out as we go. I feel like I wouldn't necessarily want my parents to take care of my kids nor your parents, because I feel like they deserve to enjoy themselves and stuff like that, and like everything they've worked for. I would want them to do that. And it's not necessarily like, I don't want them to take care of them because of specific reason. No. I just feel like, yes, on a necesidad, that it's like, dude, you gotta do your thing. Go on vacation, do that. Like, we can't just rely on you when, you know, we rely on you for a whole life, basically. Like, yeah, you guys have to do your own thing. So that's where I am at, that it's like, I love my career, and I know that us taking that decision of having a child will come, but I feel like at the moment it's not fitting with it. It's not fitting with the lifestyle that we have. Um Also with like us traveling, like
Yeah, because as is with Toby, it's tough traveling
it is. It's not the
because it's
same.
not, you know, now we have to actually look for someone to take care of him and try to just have everything ready for when we leave and in case of emergency, like, we have to have all that stuff ready before we go on a trip. So now with a baby, it would be a lot different because we're actually taking the baby, or would have to take the baby with us.
Yep.
And
Unless we go on a vacation, then just us, but it's not the
but
same.
I don't think I would feel as comfortable just
I
on
mean, you're not gonna
vacation. But
feel as comfortable, but it's something that, I mean, I would want to take
yeah, I would want
later
to.
on.
Yeah,
It's like a break. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's something that we're gonna have to.
I know. Yeah, so I think we still have a little bit more of traveling to do, um, more places to explore. But before we make that decision and actually start a family, well, we're already a family, but start having babies. And also, I don't want to give up my office. I love this space. So, and also, I don't want to give up the guest room because you never know when you're gonna need it.
Yeah, it's just a lot of things to consider. Um, and I feel like also right now with our lifestyle, like I want to get to a point where I am like, I'm still working on my body. So it's like I want to reach a goal weight, and I want to be at that goal weight for a while. I started this diet in the beginning of the year where I started at 190.4, I think, pounds. Right now I am at 160. Shoot.
165.5.
Yeah. No, 165.6.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
point 0.6. Point is a point.
Right.
Um, yeah, so I'm almost there. My goal weight is 155. That's what I used to weigh in high school. And it's like, things like that it's like I want to accomplish. I want to be at that point where I've worked myself through all of this and be able to get to that. So it doesn't fit my lifestyle right now because I want to get fit. I want to be like, confident in my body. I want to like and enjoy that. Um so with our schedule too, I mean, it's not something that would fit right now. He's studying for his CPA. You're halfway done basically.
Yes. Halfway done. I have two more exams to go. One scheduled for next month, and they're in provision again, which horrible, but whatever. I need to get it done, and then hopefully the next one in November. So we'll see how that one goes. But yeah, I'm so close yet so far. Uh, but yeah, I mean, for me also, I mean, it's a good point that you bring with the health. you're getting physically ready, and or you want to be physically ready. For me, it's more mentally. I want to be mentally ready about making sure that I'm in a healthy mental state before being a parent, because I don't want to push my traumas down to our kids. I want them to have a healthy and stable dad before you know.
Yeah. And that it affects a lot. I have seen it a lot that there's a lot of parents that don't know that they have traumas, and they pass that on to their kids so they don't break the cycle. So then they're just passing on all of this anger, mainly anger, because I feel like that's basically what it is with a lot of that. Um, and it's a lot of research that are coming up in this time right now in our era that we still don't have kids. There's a lot of research like being shown of how it affects your kids when you scream at them a lot. And this is not like, que le gritas una vez, like, no, this is like that is how do you call it cuando, there's a word for it, when you're like, lo regañas, you're the discipline. When you're disciplining your kids, así, in a very angry way, because maybe that's what you were taught to, that only teaches them fear, because they're gonna grow up being fearful. Or if you don't let your kids show their emotions, I think one of my coworkers was just talking about how when you tell your kids cuando se caen, which even this now I'm like, damn, like this actually, it makes sense. When your kids a guy and you're like, it's okay, you're not letting them tell you how they feel, and they don't know what's hurt and what's not. So it's like, oh shoot, like I didn't know that. But then I was joking with my coworker and I was like, girl, when I was a little kids and my parents maybe que me calla, or I would see them do this to other kids, they would be like, cállate otra vez.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Like,
I mean, they would tell you once, like, "Hey, stop jumping on that bed," or
yeah.
"Hey, stop jumping on the couch," or whatever, and then you would not listen, and then fall and be like, "Okay, cállate otra vez, a ver si no se te quita la maña de subirte ahí."
Yes. And it's
Which,
like,
at the same
it's
time, it makes
so,
sense, but
yeah. But it's so harsh. And it's like, we didn't see like that. We would just
right.
be like, ah, shoot, now they're being, my parents are being my parents. But it's like things like that it's like, and I guess right now it's a lot in trend, what is it called? Soft parenting or gentle parenting. Um, which I agree with that. And I feel like we talk a lot about how we would want to raise our kids, and how we would want to be very patient with them and things like that, and how we would want to be very expressive with them. Um, and we're at that stage where, está saliendo más of that, but then it's also knowing the limit.
Yeah, because actually, I was telling our neighbor last week about how we saw him at that party, and it was a kids party, and he was running around, or not running around his kid, but he was taking care of his kid, and how he was very patient with him. And then we had the other neighbor who was actually thanking uh their kid for like just bringing stuff or whatever they would
Asking for
yeah,
permission.
asking for permission. So the kid would come around, and then they would ask like, "Oh, can I grab like a bag of Doritos?" And the mom would be like, "Yes, thank you for asking," and things like that. Which you start seeing these things that for us growing up, I don't think I ever experienced that or saw anything like that, which was really nice to see. Again, we're growing up, so now we go to these. Well, that was, I guess, our first kids party, because we don't have kids, so we don't really get invited to kids parties. But it was nice to see that kind of parenting, and I was like, yeah, I admire how patient you are with your kid. And I would want to be that patient at one point, because right now, I mean, I don't have that that
Patience.
patience to.
Yeah. But I feel like it's different, because then once you have the little kid in front of you, you kind of get patience. Like,
Yeah. And I
unless you
always,
have like, a big issue, or like you said, you need to work on yourself before starting to have family. Unless you have unresolved issues, then that's when that becomes a big thing. But I feel
yeah.
like once you have this little mini version of you and your significant other, and you see their face, you're gonna be a little bit more patient. No vas a ser igual que you would think that you would be, because this is like,
Yeah, I think what once it's our kid, I'll be a lot different just because now it's my blood. I mean, not that my nephews and my nieces are not my blood, but it's different. It's just like, no, this is half me, half you. So I think I'll feel it a lot more.
yeah. And we also have to realize that, because we also have the thing where we, like, maybe nos esperamos with our nephews and nieces or something like that, but we have to realize that they're not our kids and they're not being raised how we would want to. So it's easy for us to get frustrated with them, because it's like, dude, you should do this, you should that. But it's like, we're not their parents, so we can't, like, we're not teaching them those things. So that's why it's no se esperan. But if it was our kids and we're teaching them and guiding them through growing up, it's a little bit different. It would be different, because it's like, they know you, they know what rules les das, they know tu modo. So it's going to be different than your nephew that or niece that you see, and it's like they're all over the place and you're like, oh my God. But it's like,
Yeah, which I
it's
mean, I have
different.
gotten really lucky with my nephews and nieces, or with my nephews and nieces, just because they are not, you know, well, I guess my nephew, Atzel, he was a little bit more of, more active and stuff, but not really like a troublemaker or anything. So I don't think any of them have really been troublemakers, and they're all the age gap is a bit
Between them two.
between them two was a bit
What is the age gap?
I think it's 3 years, and it's a girl and a boy, so they never
I
really.
mean, that's not big. That's not that
It's not
much.
a big age gap, but still, I think it was since it was a boy and a girl, they didn't really bond it the same, and it was not like troublemakers or anything like that. So they were pretty chill because you talk about how at your house it would always be like fighting and just going crazy because they're all literally like the same age. There's like sections of like three kids that are the same age that were
There's
born
a
like
lot of
a day
groups.
apart.
Yeah, there's a lot of groups in my family. So I think the only one that did not get that much of was my oldest nephew, because he was the only nephew for 6 years. So él sí aprovechó. Like, he got a lot, aprovechó all of us, y nosotros lo aprovechamos a él. After that, I think I mean, there's my other nephew who also was also an age gap, but there's a group of, oh no, there's actually one, two, three. There's a group of three, and then there's another group of two, and then there's another group of three that are like year or months apart, or two of them were born the same day, which they're not siblings, they're just cousins, but they were born on the same day. So there's a lot of groups. So obviously, so they're gonna be boxing it out. They're gonna be, doing that. My nephew that is just about to turn 3 months, and then my other nephew that is like a week. He's a
Yes, he's
week
a week now.
today. No, yesterday. A week yesterday.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Like, they're probably gonna be boxing it out too. But that's just kids being kids. Like, si están
Especially is
solos, like,
especially with boys too. That
yeah.
they I think
Like,
they.
it's so normal. Even like obviously también con las girls, but the boys, they're a little bit more aggressive. But I mean, when you don't have a kid around and it's just this kid and está haciendo whatever, they're not interacting with other kids. When they start interacting with other kids, that's when it's like, you grabbing my toy, I'm gonna smack you, And I see it normal. It's just the parents that, obviously need to be there and like make sure they don't do it, or they're not hurting themselves bad and stuff like that. Um, where are we going with this?
I don't know, but yeah, I mean the thing about we were just talking about how with our kids it would be different just because we can't with our nephews and nieces we can't really tell them to do different things because they're not raised how we would want them to be. They're not 24/7 with us. They're 24/7 with their parents and maybe a few hours with us. So it's not like we're gonna be able to change them. Um, in a matter of 1 or 2 hours, which that's fine. I mean, they are who they are, and we still love them. But yeah, I mean, the other thing would also be um, being financially prepared for a kid because they're expensive.
They are.
They're super expensive.
Diapers, formula. Oh my god, the other day. So when we were planning for my sister's baby shower, we were going over the prices with you. Do you remember? And you were like, "This is this much. This is this much." And it's like babies are hella expensive. They be pooping and peeing like every not even 30 minutes. Imagine changing all those diapers. Like it is insane. I do feel like when we talk to people about this, they're like, you're never going to be financially like stable enough to have a kid. You're never going to do this. But I believe that you're not necessarily going to be 100%. But if you are even 50%, 80%, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not talking about I want to be rich
Mm-mm.
before having kids or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the case at all.
It's stable,
It's
not
just
wealthy.
stable. Yeah, it's stable,
Yeah.
not wealthy. And just because I don't want to feel limited on doing things with my kid. Like if I want my kid to have the best diapers, I want to be able to provide the best diapers. I want them to be comfortable. I want them to,
Or extra things.
yeah, just
Yeah.
extra things. I don't want to be like
Like your
going to
nephew
this.
that was taking swimming classes, like as a
I know.
baby, like things like that, that it's like we didn't get but are beneficial. And if we can provide for them, then that's amazing.
Yeah, I would definitely want our kids to have swimming classes because we love going to the beach.
Yes.
So it would be amazing if they could learn how to swim
Right.
at a early age and
I
just
need
not
to
be
take
scared of
those
the
classes
water.
too.
No, you actually learn how to swim
I
now,
know. I am. I'm a
or
smart
maybe just
guys.
because you were a little drunk. But
I was not drunk. I was just tipsy.
yeah, I mean, when it comes to being financially stable, again, it's not being wealthy or anything like that. It's just having a little bit extra for us to not feel limited on what we can get our kid. And if we want to buy a nice stroller or that Wonderfold thing that I saw at when we went to Gobert's, the cart that had
Oh, the wagon.
the wagon. It was a Wonderfold wagon, and
Yeah.
I was like, how much do you think that is? And again, not knowing about like baby price or anything like that, I was like, it cannot be more than $200. And then I looked it up; it was like $700. I was like, oh yeah, but that would be something that I would really, really want to have. Um, Again, a lot of those things are things that you just want. It's not like you really need, but I want to be financially
Yeah.
stable
And I
for
feel
me
like
to.
it also affects a lot on a lot of things, because if you think about it, and I've seen this a lot in like other relationships, and it's not necessarily judging if this was any of you guys, but it's just the effects of it. Um, you get married, and let's say you right there, let's say you spend like a decent amount on your wedding, you get married, and then like a year later you have your kids, right? Like there's a lot of people that have kids right away, and let's say they don't have an emergency fund, they don't have a stable job, they don't have a game plan to save up for this kid. And it adds not just pressure on your baby, but it adds pressure on the marriage as well. So I feel like it affects certain things like that. And it's like then you start having another kid, and it's like, all right, now you have two, and you're barely getting by. And then you're struggling with your partner, stuff like that. It's like I see those things, and it's like, dude, it's so crazy. There's a lot of people that think that it's you just te casas and you're supposed to have kids right away, and that's what you're supposed to do. But it's like, why can't we normalize being stable and being successful and then starting that family?
Yeah, because if you get yourself into that situation about getting married and then going to your kids and just start a family, then you find yourself having to work an extra job to get the funds and just to be again financially ready and things like that, to pay for all of your kids things. And if you have them back to back to back, then it just gets pricey. And now you or your spouse or both of you are working overtime or having more than one job, so now you don't have the time to be with your kids, which then how is that going to affect your kids if you're not around and someone else is raising them, not you, so you're not raising them how you want them to be. And that's just a place where I want to be at, that I want to be able to not having to work overtime or well, it doesn't matter with me because I don't get paid for overtime, but
Boo.
but then having to get a second job or anything like that. No, I would want to just be financially ready, and then if we want to get take a vacation, for example, without a kid, have that extra income or that savings to pay for a babysitter, because babysitters are expensive. So, but if we want to take a babyless vacation, then we could just pay for it and not have to worry about that.
Yeah. I just feel like it just adds a lot more pressure into your life
Yeah.
when you do that. But not necessarily this is just because we think this doesn't mean we are right.
No,
Like it
and a lot of
doesn't.
people. I mean, I think.
It's just why we haven't had
Yeah,
kids.
that's just our conversations that we have, um, with in between us. And again, you and I think very alike. So yeah, it's not that we're right and other people are wrong for doing what they do. That makes them happy, so that's fine. This just makes us happy, and I would want other people to respect that. It's not that it really bothers me when they ask us like, "Why haven't you had kids?" But it bothers me,
It
like
does.
because
And I
it's
feel
just
like
like,
it's more lately.
yes,
It
it is a
is
lot
this
more
year.
lately.
Like
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, we got like mind your own business. Like we're not gonna have kids anytime soon, so don't even ask.
Right. Just go
Like,
ask someone else. We're
yes,
not ready
yes,
for a baby yet, and it's for, well, in our case, we think it's for the best.
yes.
Um.
Like for where we are in our lives now, and let's say like if you are somebody that had kids young, and you didn't necessarily get the option that we have, there's always pros and cons of having kids at a young age. I feel like if you have them at a young age, maybe you don't enjoy your first few years, what is your really prime years, but then you're done early.
Yeah,
Your
and
kids are out of your house like right away. Si te esperas, like, you enjoy your 20s, and then you have kids, but then you're a little older. Yeah, you're dealing with your kids. So it's like there's pros and cons. Nothing is perfect, but it's just what works for us and what we think.
yeah, for us, I feel like it's better if we just wait it out and then just have you know kids when we're older and struggle when we're older, I guess, having to raise them and stuff. But still not planning to wait until like 38 and have our first kid, or 40 and have our first kid. It's more about a few more years.
Yes. Isn't necessarily something that we like plan on like, all right, when I am like 30 something, we're gonna have our first kid. No. We got married pretty young. I was 21, about to turn 22. Um I think September, was it October? No, like 3 months from turning 22. And I think that's one of the things that we talked about before we got married, was that at least from my perspective, I wanted to wait. I told him, I was like, I want to wait. I want us to enjoy life and do traveling, do everything that we can, because I have very strict parents, so I didn't really get to travel a lot. I didn't get to go to a club. I didn't really get to go to a bar. I didn't really go out with my friends like that, like partying. I never experienced that. My first bar was with you. My first club was with him. So it's like I want to do all of those things. And at that point, I mean, he already had experienced all of it. But I mean, you're still down with like a lot of things. I feel like you're not a part people. You're not like, I already did that. I already did that. No, you'd be like, all
No,
right, I'm
I'm
down.
always down for every, and even right now, not drinking, I'm still down for pretty much
Yeah, he's still
everything.
alive. Honestly, he's still alive. Thank God. I thought he was gonna be a party pooper, but he's not. And he's a great bartender, even though he's sober.
I told my neighbors that I'm actually planning on getting my bartending license. They're like, "Wait, you're getting your CPA license and then your bartending license?" I was like, "Yeah, maybe
Two in
but
one.
yeah, two in one. Maybe bartenders get paid a little bit more." But yeah, I mean, I don't want to kill the vibe. If if I'm not drinking, it doesn't mean that everything else is boring. It's not. You don't need drinking to be part of the party, but it does make it easier, you know,
I
when you're
mean,
partying.
I
But
feel like it's easy for you because you're very social. So it's like,
no, but it's still alcohol helps a bit more.
I mean, it
It helps
does, but
you.
it's not like you struggled before.
That is true.
So it's like, but I'm hoping that by end of the year you'll be passed. So I have a couple months to enjoy of a designated driver. So I have to take advantage.
You don't want to take care of me anymore.
I mean, I don't mind it, but it's because
Yeah.
my dude can't hang. That's what it is.
No, it's
He
because
goes
I don't
from
know my
0 to
limits.
100
Yeah.
like real quick, and it's like I feel like for me, even if I'm lit, like super lit, I am very aware of my surroundings about everything. And him, he's just like dead, and it's like, dude, like you know. But okay, this past time they went to Tijuana and it was my Solo's birthday, he actually
Oh yeah. So
measured his
I'm
limits.
actually very proud of that because
Yes.
so before I would just once I start drinking, like I'll be like, yeah, I'll drink like 3 beers or whatever, and then it's like 2 a.m. and I'm like 3 shots in and like 10 beers or whatever, and blacked out, and then you have to like help me get to where I
Yes,
need
my
to
dude is
be.
already throwing up and everything. It's bad.
But so I stopped drinking in the beginning of the year to start studying for my CPA. But this time that we went to Tijuana for my cousin's wedding, I actually took a break, and then I drank the whole time that we were over there. Um, there was my dad's birthday was September 1st, so we had a party for him, and we were drinking, and that was the time that I drank the most out of the whole time that we were there. But at the end of the night, we had already finished, what was it, like 3 bottles? Yeah, 3 bottles, and then we had finished all that. So then there were just beer. There was just beer left, and I opened up a Modelo, and I took one sip, and I was like, "No, I know if I drink this Modelo, it's gonna fuck me up, like really fuck me up." So I was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to do that," and I actually left it there. And even though I was very hungover the next day, I know that would make me feel
It
even.
would have been probably worse. You would
Yeah,
have
it would have
probably
been
been throwing up at night, to be honest.
right. Yeah, so I'm so proud of myself for actually finding my limit. And
Yes. I feel like once you find your limit, then you're good. Because then you get to have like a chill night too, even though you're already like, yeah,
yeah,
dead. But I mean, little by little, you'll get there.
because I don't even remember going upstairs, to be honest. But
That's what I'm saying. And it's like, I remember absolutely everything. And that was pretty lit. Um, I remember I went to the bathroom and my eyes were hella red. I was like, sheesh.
yeah, but
Um,
so there's another reason why we're not ready for kids
yeah,
quite yet.
definitely not ready for kids.
I
I
do want to
still
experience
have,
a little bit more.
yeah, I feel like I have a lot of things that I want to experience. And it's not necessarily like drinking. Like, I feel like when I think about drinking, it's not drinking because I need to drink. It's because I'm drinking like with the vibe.
Socially, yeah.
Like it's such a vibe. Like I feel like when I think about getting lit, I see myself like, drinking and then like listening to music, singing like my Mexican music. Like I need my Jenny Rivera when I'm lit. Like things like that. That's like I want for the vibes. And then having deep conversations with your lit with people, it's like it's so nice. But it's for me it's just for the vibes. I like to it's just for
Yeah,
that.
because I feel like a lot of people open up when they're drunk or even tipsy, or they have
Me, I
some
become more
alcohol.
social.
Yeah, so they open up and just tell you about things that maybe they would have not told you if they were sober, or
Yeah.
things like that. But it's nice. No one judges you.
Yeah.
It's
I know. I'm still on a mission to get lit with my mother-in-law. To be honest,
She
that
was
is,
getting there, but
she was getting there, but then she stopped, and I was like, no. I thought that was gonna be the day. To be honest, I really did. But I honestly, I would want to get lit with my mother-in-law.
I've seen her drunk maybe a handful of times. But she's fun. She's awesome.
Like I could just
All
imagine
my
us
aunts are
like
awesome.
literally singing and crying together. Like she likes to cry when she's drunk, right?
Yeah, she cries a lot.
Yeah, I don't mind crying. I don't like it, but I'll do that if it survives.
Yeah, I think this time that I was drinking, I got emotional this whole time.
What?
I noticed
When?
this last time in Tijuana that I was actually getting like in my feelings and things like that.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't really notice.
but yeah,
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. But I feel like that's good though. We need to normalize being in our feelings, and I suck at it too. I do. I don't like
yeah. I
crying in
think
front of people.
now I'm getting a little better at that as well. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't mind it.
I
Everyone.
don't. I don't like crying in front of people. To be honest, I don't like it. I prefer holding it in.
Well, that yeah. I mean, I don't like them seeing me
Yeah.
like that, but
And that's the thing that I'm not okay with me being like that.
hmm
Like I don't like to feel like that. I don't like to feel that I can't cry in front of people. But I feel like it's also because being told not to cry.
right.
Like being told like no, you shouldn't cry. You
Well, what
shouldn't.
we were talking about earlier that everything's okay, so you
Yes.
cannot really show your emotions, but
Yes.
it should be normal about if I want to cry as a guy, then just let me cry. You ever heard that song de El Gran Silencio? Déjenme si estoy llorando.
I just think about that. It reminds me of Carla Morrison. Que
Okay,
dice,
yeah. Oh,
déjeme
right.
llorar.
Well, El Gran Silencio was before her, but yeah, it it's just a guy just saying, just déjenme si estoy llorando,
Right.
and then
And it's
just
like it's okay to cry, but I need to get better at it. Because I feel like being young, it's like, why are you crying? You shouldn't cry. You
yeah.
shouldn't cry. You shouldn't cry. And it's like now it's like, why don't you cry? And it's like, God, well,
Que
do
no
you
se
want
entiende.
right for real? Like, do you want me to cry? Do you not want me to cry? And it's like now it's like it's not good that you don't cry because that means you're holding in, and it's like, well,
Yeah, I think
so
that's one of the things that do have helped me as well. Well, not the crying part, but
I was like, excuse me.
no, but showing my emotions a little bit more. And again, I'm still or trying to get better at that because I don't show my emotions as much or didn't used to show my emotions as much, but now I actually try to demonstrate it to my family or show them in a way that I would want to be shown that they love me. And just showing my emotions, it's normal. Let's just normalize that. But yeah, you helped me with that a lot.
Do you feel that um like you feel free to like express your affection towards me in front of people from the
Yeah.
beginning till now? Like,
Well,
do
from the
you
beginning, n- not in the beginning.
know?
No, I didn't think in the beginning, but and I think my mom actually got mad at me one time
Yeah, she did. Thanks.
because I got home and I didn't give you a
Kiss.
kiss
Yeah.
when I got home. So I just said hi to you and then just went to the kitchen or something like that and she got mad at me.
No, I think you said hi to me and then you said hi to your mom and you hugged your mom, and then your mom was like, "Así no se saluda a tu esposa," and then she's like, le saludas con un beso."
Yeah.
So then I was like, "Tell him, tell him."
Yeah,
Um,
but so that definitely changed a lot. But I think there's a lot of moments that I could be a little bit more or show my affection a little bit more, but again, that's just
you'll get there.
I'll get there at some point. Yeah.
All right.
And again,
But I feel
if we
like it's
go,
not like you don't show it at all.
no,
It's
it's
not that.
yeah,
It's just that it's like I can tell that he might like he doesn't feel comfortable, or um like maybe it's the environment or something.
yeah. I mean, before it was a lot worse, like a lot worse. That I would not.
Cause I'm not like that, to be honest. I'm like hugging him and everything, and
y-
I don't really care.
Yeah, no, for me it's like I don't wanna. You know, I guess that at some point I felt like that made me feel like weak or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what it
Mm.
was, to be honest. What I was thinking,
Because
but
it's probably something that you're not exposed to. Because I feel like your parents, I mean, they're not super affectionate, but they se saludan con un beso, you know, like hi and bye. Um, but I feel like it's different when it's in front of people. And like, let's just like, let's say like in front of my parents. Like I remember when we first started to like kiss of like, hi, how are you? Or, you know, because sometimes like I'll meet him and my parents, so we don't see each other all day, and then we see each other at my parents' house. And at first, it was like, I'm gonna kiss in front of my parents. That's so weird. Like I would think about that because I was like, oh my god, it feels so weird. Because I don't know if they might take it as wrong because they're very like old school Mexican, so they don't like PDA, you can say, but it's not like we're making out. But
right
it's not. I don't know.
now
It's
I
just
make out
something.
in front of my family. They don't. I don't give a fuck no.
You were just talking
Yeah.
about being embarrassed.
No,
Que no
but
sé
when
qué.
they when there's a party and they're always like beso beso, and then I
Oh,
just
now my dude, yeah, he's definitely making out with me in front of freaking everybody. Um, but
TMI TMI.
literally TMI. But it's just like as a joke. It's
Yeah,
not
so
necessarily like making out, but it's just a
right.
joke.
So that's another thing that if we go back to what we're talking about, being ready for kids, I guess just to wrap that up, I think I would want to be ready for that as well, and just to learn how to be affectionate with my kid and show them, him or her, that I really love them, and learning the ways that they want to be shown that as well. Because I know not everyone shows their love the same way, and not everyone wants to be shown love the same way. So that's another thing that I would want to be ready for,
What
and
is my love language?
just get you some ice cream.
No.
Now you like to cuddle a lot.
So that means that I am what?
Physical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm definitely like physical. I need affection.
Yeah, you need a lot of affection.
Yeah.
And I think I'm a little bit the opposite. Sometimes I do
I
need.
feel like you're more like words affirmation.
Yeah.
Not words affirmation. Words of oh yeah, that's I think it is
Yeah,
words
just
affirmation.
knowing that you appreciate what I do, and
Yeah.
things like that. If you tell me, then I believe you. I don't you don't need to do like extra things. It's just confirming that what I'm doing, or you appreciate what I'm doing for you. That's pretty much what makes me feel the love.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
And I
that
need
was.
like a cuddle.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
do.
yeah. You do all the time.
Yeah. Sometimes we're like in the separate ends of the sofas and I'm like, come here. I need a cuddle. And that like helps me. It does. I feel like if I could have a very stressful day and I just cuddle, like
Well, a hug actually releases a lot of your
stress.
stress. Yeah, so that's why it makes
I
you.
need a lot of hugs.
Yeah, but it's funny that you say that about cuddling and everything, because Toby hates cuddling.
I think that's one thing that I would change from his ass, honestly. It's him being more like a cuddle dog. He's needy, but he just wants attention. Like he'll look at you and he'll cry and he'll give you those puppy eyes, pero nomás quieres to pet him. As soon as you lay down on the floor, my dude goes crazy, wagging his tail, jumping up and down. It's like, dude, like just stop, like chill. I just want to cuddle, and it's like the only time you can cuddle with him is if he's not feeling good
Well,
or if it's like storming outside
yeah, yeah. So the thing that he loves is for you to like pet inside his thigh.
or
So
his
he'll
like
like
back,
turn, or his back. So he'll turn his body just for you, but you cannot pet like the
his
top of
head.
his head or anything like that,
Well,
because
he
he'll
doesn't
go
like it.
crazy.
Yeah, he
He'll just
doesn't
go
like it either
crazy.
way. He'll
No.
like pull his head away, but
Yeah. So cuddling and all that stuff. Yeah, it doesn't work with him. Which I mean, I don't mind. Whenever I'm laying down on the floor or whatever, he'll come and lay down next to me, and as long as I don't touch him, he's okay. He'll be playing with his toys or whatever, but just as long as I don't touch him, he doesn't like being.
yeah. I feel like if you touch him and he's laying down, it's like him. He takes it as play.
Yeah, yeah. He'll
So
he'll go into
his
his like
energy is
playing.
about to like
Yeah.
yeah. So it's not a vibe. Do you want to get into your financial section?
Yes. Yeah. So one thing that, or this week's topic would be about how a lot of people think that becoming wealthy, or for being able to become wealthy, you need to have a high income, but that's not always the case, because I've seen a lot of people that they're actually high earners and they have a high income, but then they're still living paycheck to paycheck, and that's horrible. Uh, the thing about becoming wealthy or financially stable is just, with what you earn, just learn how to budget. Learn how to budget. Learn where your expenses are going. Learning if you're living above your means, or if you have to cut down on some expenses, um, and investing. You know, again, I'm not a financial advisor, so I cannot tell you what to invest on, but do some research and just learn how to invest. Savings, emergency fund, not getting into all these credit cards. You know, like building your credit is good, but you don't have to go into that to have a good credit score. So things like that is just that make you wealthy, or actually being financially stable and not have to live paycheck to paycheck. You don't have to be a high income earner, and to get there. At some point you'll get there, just as long as you're disciplined. And I think it takes a lot, because you always want to have that nice thing that you see on TV, or the newest thing that you see on TV. And we're high consumers here in the US, so it's hard not to have the latest iPhone. I mean, the what iPhone 15 just came out last week, or it's coming out. It's it's a pre-order right now, so I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to pre-order that, or already pre-order that, even though their phone's still fine. Maybe they're on the 14 or whatever, but they just want the latest one, even though there's not a lot of changes. So just learning, how to manage your money, and just, again, investing, saving, and being ready for an emergency at all times. So that's my financial
Facts.
tip of the week. Start budgeting. I think that's very important. I We have a budget, and even though we don't follow it strictly down to the penny, it still helps me, or it helps me a lot to see where the money is going. Once I know where the money is going, uh maybe we talk about it and say, like, hey, maybe we can cut down on this and have a little bit more money for us, for more personal things and stuff like that. So just, yeah, and that's also how you can often catch fraud, because they had two expenses, right, on your credit card. So I noticed that while I was going through our budget, and noticed that there was some fraud on her card. So that's still pending, and but we were able to catch it just in time. It was not big transactions, so hopefully that gets resolved soon. But yeah, just budget and
Hopefully.
keep track of your expenses at all times and your income, and you'll get there.
Whoever did that is bogus.
Yeah, we tried to
Um,
look up the companies, and there
that
was
is so
nothing
dumb
there.
to be
Yeah.
honest, but thank God for banks that actually figure that out. Now we can go to our positive segment, where we choose an affirmation.
All right. You want to go first?
Yes, I'm just gonna choose a random one because I feel like I was just looking through a list and that I get notifications because I have an app and it gives me a affirmation every like certain hour, and I was trying to see which one I like, and I feel like I was pressured. So I was like, I'm just gonna just scroll and then whichever one. Oop, I stop in. Now I have an ad. Uh, skip video. All right, this one that's gonna stop on. Okay. I am worthy of self love even when I'm working to improve. I like this. I feel like I take this as Um, like sometimes I might be too into a goal of improving myself that I don't realize that to give myself a break is self love. And knowing when I am gonna have that either burning out or even like as a reward. Like, right, you have worked yourself off for this amount of days. It's okay to have a day off. It's okay to to feel tired and want to take a nap. Things like that that I feel like we, at least for me, I get to focus on my goal and wanting to get there fast, that I don't give myself that time for myself where I can actually like reset and be okay with it, because sometimes it's like, yeah, you are disciplined, but then you also need a break, and it's okay to take a break. There's nothing wrong with taking some, like, time off so you can reset and just find yourself again and give a break to yourself. um which I don't know what I was hearing. Shoot, I read this quote or something about that it was like, you work so hard um on your goal, but it's like you don't realize that it's like you don't have sympathy for yourself when you are doing a goal, because it's like you're just thinking in your head of like, it was a podcast, now I remember, it was a podcast of this girl that I watched, Mel Robbins. Whoever watches her, she's a motivational person. She was having this podcast with this lady that is a writer. And she was saying, she's like, sometimes we focus ourselves on our goal, but we don't have no sympathy and we don't think of how we are feeling when we are trying to get to that goal. And we're just talking to ourselves like, oh, you could have done better. You could have done this. Like, we're so hard on ourselves that we don't have sympathy to be okay, with taking time off, or if something is not what we expect, it's okay. There's like things like that it's like, we don't really think about when we're working so hard on our goal, that it's like, dude, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to learn how to just like stop and take some time off when you're so far into your goal, or you're working so hard and you're just like, I just need to keep going. I just have a little bit more to go and then I'll get there. But sometimes even that little bit that you have left to go, since you already have worked so hard and you're burning out, it takes you so long, or a lot longer to accomplish if you don't take that time off. So it is very important to just take that time off and, reset, get ready, and then just go back to it. Um, you know, Achieving your goals. But that's good. Take some time off and appreciate, what you've done so far. The improvement, yeah. All right, so I got this one that I really liked. It says, I am a magnet for success and opportunities. So I do think, that I'm always attracting success and opportunities, but it's because I also put myself out there. It's not that,
It's your energy.
it's just my energy and just how I'm always also looking for them. It's not that I'm waiting for them to come to me. It's I'm out there looking for them, For whatever it is, I know what I need to work on and everything to accomplish, you know, my goals and just be successful. And so far, gracias a Dios, it's been working out great. But it will probably never be. It will probably not be like that all the time. But as long as I can, I'm gonna keep being out there and attracting that success and those opportunities and take them when they come. And even if I don't feel ready for them or anything, I'll still take them. I like a little bit of a challenge.
A
I like
challenge.
to work under pressure.
Yep.
But yes, so yeah, I think that was pretty much it for this week. Again, I appreciate you.
Yes.
Today, I almost said let's not do it today,
No.
but thanks thank you again. I think I'll keep thanking you for like
Every episode.
every
I
episode
like
because
this, guys.
you're like, yeah, let's do another podcast
Let's
tomorrow.
do another one tomorrow.
Yeah, because it really does it gets me out of my comfort zone. So
Yeah. And not just that, because I feel like we also have like that time where we're kind of like a break. Because it's like we're focused just on this right now. Like there's nothing else that is like we're worried about or it's like our little hobby.
yeah, this actually it helps me get my mind of things.
Yes.
I was literally not even thinking about anything else but this when we started. So
Exactly.
it's great. Because I feel sometimes even if I'm watching a movie or whatever, I'm always thinking about like, oh, maybe I should do this or I should clean,
or what do I have to do tomorrow?
the garage or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So this actually gives us like a good hour and a half of like not think about anything else
Besides our
this.
conversation.
Yeah. So I really like this. And now we're putting it out there. One thing that I did see, and I guess we just are thinking of posting on YouTube for now. But I also, we need to look into getting the stuff on Spotify and Apple Music or Apple Podcasts,
You
whatever.
said Spotify?
Spotify.
I love Spotify.
Yeah. So hopefully in the near future,
Imagine.
they're there as well. Yep.
Only God knows where this is gonna take us, guys. And I hope. I mean, it's something fun. I like it.
I like it. Yeah, I don't mind it.
But we don't mind if it goes into something big too.
But
Porque me
definitely
saqué de
didn't get
trabajar.
into it yet. Excuse me.
Excuse me. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm still gonna work. But I think that's it for today's episode.
Yeah.
Episode 2.
If you made it this far again, thank you so much. And
Thank
we
you.
hope to see you on the next one. See you.
Hold on. You have to make sure you do your.
Oh, you forgot. Yeah.
I'm trying to teach him how to do his closing because he's just like, hey, bye, that's it. And it's like, no, you have to tell them. Do you want me to say it?
Yeah, you say it.
All right, guys. So I'm going to half close it and then you're going to take the other part. This is just like, we're practicing, guys. So, this is barely our second episode, but little by little we'll get there. So if you have made it this far, thank you so much for watching, guys. We appreciate you guys. And like I said in the last episode, challenge yourself. Do something. I want us to keep saying that for each episode. Challenge yourself, because every week it might be a different challenge. You might be in a different mindset. So challenge yourself today, tomorrow, whenever, and try something new. And little by little, you're going to start creating a new positive side of you. But yeah, so make sure you guys are subscribing, like, comment, share it to everybody, and let us know what topics you guys want us to touch base on. Any topics, any suggestions, or anything about this conversation of why we haven't had kids. And if you don't have kids, why haven't you had kids?
Or if you had kids early, what made you have kids early?
Yes. Convince us.
Yes.
Convince us. Maybe next episode. I'm just kidding.
No.
Just kidding, guys.
Chill on that,
just
yeah.
kidding. But yeah, so you want to close it out now?
Yes. So now I can say, see you on the next one.
Bye.
Peace.